can remember seeing that to my grandmother as an 8-year-old child. I remember walking into her room one day and just seeing my grandmother weep and not understanding why. I asked my grandmother, what's wrong? What's wrong? Why are you crying? And she told me, nothing, baby, I'm fine. Some months go down the road and family members are scrambling and no one wants to stop and explain to me why. But I just knew something was wrong. Here was this strong Black woman who could defeat anything. Stood strong in her faith, but I could see her face diminishing no matter how many times I sat next to her bed and sung that song to her. It was right then that I said to myself, whatever's wrong with my grandmother, let it be me. It takes some more time, and finally someone stops and tells me your grandmother has breast cancer, stage 4. They've already at this point removed both of her breasts, and I didn't really still understand it all, but I was smart enough to know that whatever it was something that was gonna be passed down. And I said again, God, let it be me. Fast forward to 2017, it's the very first time I stepped into a doctor's office and having my doctor touch my breast and find a lump for the very first time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I spoke life into me that I should have never spoke. I go get my first mammogram. And as I wait for the test results, I'm so scared and I'm so devastated. I call my baby sister and I'm like, Mika, what do I do? Help me get myself together, because if this is my fate, I want to be prepared. I want to stand in this strong. I get a call, Leigh, you're fine, there's nothing there. Whew. I'm relieved. I come into myself, I work as hard as I can, I study as hard as I can, because I know that God has called me to work with people to find their own true version of healthy. But in the middle of that, I also still remember that God has more for my life. So I continue to work hard, I continue to study hard, and I graduate with my degree in nutrition. And then I'm faced with another hardship this year alone. This year I woke up one day dizzy without any reason, and it would never subside. I'm still lost, I'm still not understanding, and then they tell me, Leigh, we need to do another test. We found more lumps, and this time we're not sure. So I go through 2 more tests, and they're still not sure. They're hidden, they're like, oh, just not really sure, so we're gonna do another test and another test. But lo and behold, I was fine. I say this because there's so many of us in the African American community. Doesn't matter what age we are, doesn't matter where we come from, what we've been through, our education or financial status. Doesn't even matter our genetic background. Breast cancer runs rapid through us as females, and just as much, even rapid through our males. Knowing how to fight it through our nutrition is important. That is why I stand here today. I want to be able to come to you ladies and explain to you how important it is to the things that we put in our bodies matter. How many of you ladies know what carcinogenic foods are?
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So carcinogenic foods are foods that we intake in our body that actually help along our gene and our cells to continue mutating the cancer cells. Things like peanuts, French fries, fried foods, they all matter. The level of heat that we cook our foods to, how much we cook them all the way through, because we all know we love some well done meat or some french fries that are extra crispy. But those are things that are actually hurting us, they're killing us slowly. We have to make sure that we understand how to cook our foods. We have to understand that Chick-fil-A is not our best friend. we have to understand that the ways that our grandparents once ate, ways that our moms and dads once ate, are not what's going to be still okay for us today. How many of you ladies cook with canola and vegetable oil? Okay.
I do a mixture. Sometimes I virgin oils.
Bingo. So she hit on one of the oils that I want you ladies to pay attention to. As much as we like to say that canola oil and vegetable oil are great for us, they're not. They actually have a level of heat that comes when they're being made that comes off and that actually binds our cells, and they're harmful for us. So extra virgin olive oil, grapeseed oil are better for us because they're pressed out through cold press in order to get the juices and the oils out of those items, rather than being cooked at very high levels of heat and that now harm us. Overly, again, cooking our foods and taking sugar. I know sugar is absolutely amazing. I know we all love the chocolate and the candies, but they're harmful to us in so many ways. Being mindful of how much candy you're taking in, being mindful how much sweet you're taking in, alcohol we're ingesting. Granted,